get this love, it don't need subtitle. When you say I wanna spend some time, I'll be there to put in overtime. I know how to read between lines. Boy, you're so fine, man, I really wanna waste some time with ya. Call me one time and I wouldn't hesitate on that, baby. Down in my ocean, yeah. Like how we say, come save me. All day to me. The fantasy. Say whatever you want, it's all good with me. Come save me. All day to me. The fantasy. Say whatever you want, it's all good with me. Questions on your mind, like, what do I mean to you? Are you the center of my galaxy, or a comet passing through? It's not easy, I know that. Holding on to someone, waking up to no one. When I wake up, I need you. For a moment, we could be falling after. Don't keep your distance from me. Leave the door open. Don't keep your distance from me. Time is all I need. Close your eyes and count to 3, and I'll be right there. Don't keep your
Check.
distance from me. Do you wanna do this?
Very distinguished professional colleagues announcing the arrival of the People's President and reminding us that the program kickstarts very, very shortly. Once again, welcome. Today is another great day for the NIPR FCT chapter meeting. You are welcome.
Holding on to someone, waking up to no one. When I wake up, I need you. For a moment, we could be falling after. Truth is, I need you all the same. Don't keep your distance from me. Leave the door open. Don't keep your distance from me. Time is all I need. Close your eyes and count to 3, and I'll be right there. Don't keep your distance. Truth is, I need you all the same. Don't keep your distance from me. Leave the door open. Don't keep your distance from me. Time is all I need. Close your eyes and count to 3, and I'll be right there. Don't keep your distance from me.
I mean, I like what we have, but I definitely want more. I want you on the same page with me. I want to know that we're in this together, and it's not just a fleeting moment of passion.
Nameza akpata menyi, nameza akpata menyi, wambe isine pato ye, Mambe isi n'ịkpata onye na-asị ma nịnya debe enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi na-asị ma nịnya dube enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche enyi na-aga na esoghị n'azụ enyi na-aga na esoghị n'azụ na-asị ma nịnya chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi na-asị ma nịnya chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche enyi na-aga na esoghị n'azụ enyi na-aga na esoghị n'azụ gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo.
Distinguished colleagues, this is to announce that in 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds, we will be starting the meeting. For those joining us online, the link has been sent.
Mambe isi n'ịkpata onye Mambe isi n'ịkpata onye na-asị ma nịnya dube enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi na-asị ma nịnya dube enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche akwa enyi ga-abụ isi oche enyi na-aga na isoghị n'azụ enyi na-aga na isoghị n'azụ na-asị ma nịnya chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi na-asị ma nịnya dube enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi enyi na-aga na isoghị n'azụ enyi na-aga na isoghị n'azụ gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo. Adaeze ka di bịakatalụ gwogwogwo ngwo onye enu bịa gwogwogwo ngwo onye a na-ebịa ọjụ gwogwogwo ngwo anụ enu abịa gwogwogwo ngwo anụ a na-abịa ọjụ gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo gwogwogwo ngwo. O wee luo ofu mbọsị nna ya wee kpọọ ya gwogwogwo ngwo bụ eze gwogwogwo ngwo kpọọ ya kpọọ nnie kpọọ nwee ndị ọzọ wee sị kedu ife kpatara.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone, distinguished colleagues. My name is Grace Omechere Ayola, FNIPR. As the chairman of this year's conference on AGM, I'd like to assure you that this year's AGM will be the best ever. Also note that all machineries are put in place for your comfort and ease of registration. All you need to do is go on the chapter website www.niprfct.org.ng to register. Go to the event button click on the event and see all the outlined events and programs available for you to register. Thank you very much for your contributions and your support as we look forward to a great and wonderful event this year. God bless you. See you then. Hello everyone, distinguished colleagues. My name is Grace Omechere Ayola, FNIPR. As the chairman of this year's conference and AGM, I'd like to assure you that this year's AGM will be the best ever. Also note that all machineries are put in place for your comfort and ease of registration. All you need to do is go on the chapter website www.niprfct.org.ng to register. Go to the event button, click on the event and see all the outlined events and programs available for you to register. Thank you very much for your contributions and your support as we look forward to a great and wonderful event this year. God bless you. See you then.
Ọ na-akpọnụ mmanụ kata onye isi nwụnọ ọ bụrụ nna kpọkọ nne kpọkọ ụmụaka ha niile agbakọba nwee nzukọ onye ọbụla ekwu ebe na-egbu ya onye ọbụla ekwu maka ọ na-amaka ebe a ka ụmụaka na onwe vazibe na-aghọta onwe va nne a na-aghọta nna na-aghọta ụmụaka ka ha nweziri nzukọ afa nwere oge a ka adaeze jibe mmeghe ọnụ wee sị na onye ọbụla bụ onye ga-anụ ya ọ ga-akpụtarịrị enyi ka ọ ga-abụrụ onwe emume a na-ebe na befe ahụ ka ya rigolo enu enyi anyị na-aga ya lee amarụkwe na ya bụ nna m eze akpata m enyi nna m eze akpata m enyi eze na-ekpata onye ese na-ekpata onye naanị masị ya dube enyi chebe enyi ọ dịgasị na-akpata m enyi na asị manị ya dube enyi chebe enyi.
Hello everyone, distinguished colleagues. My name is Grace Omechere Ayola, FNIPR. As the chairman of this year's conference and AGM, I'd like to assure you that this year's AGM will be the best ever. Also note that all machineries are put in place for your comfort and ease of registration. All you need to do is go on the chapter website www.niprfct.org.ng to register. Go to the event button, click on the event and see all the outlined events and programs available for you to register. Thank you very much for your contributions and your support as we look forward to a great and wonderful event this year. God bless you. See you then.
Members of council who are here, distinguished colleagues, I request that we all rise for the national anthem. land. Thank you very much. As you may be aware, the president, the Nigerian version, but just one verse. The presidency has said just one verse. And we're thank you. Please be seated. Mr. President, very distinguished members of council, fellows of the institute, very distinguished colleagues, welcome to the FCT chapter NIPR meeting for the month of September. Thank you very much for coming, those who arrived early. And please note that this is the way to go. This is the new dawn. We start exactly on time. For those who are joining us online, thank you very much for joining us. At this point, by the permission of the chairman of the FCT chapter, who will soon have the microphone, you have the agenda for today now presented to us, sent to our mails. If you attended the last meeting, it should be on your mail if you properly register. Talking about registration, there is a QR code going round for your registration, so you can register online. FCT chapter is ICT compliant 100%. So you can register just while you are seated where you are, and that will take you straight into the portal. Remember, when you register, to input all detail, including your email address, where of course you will get the necessary correspondence. We now have the agenda. Somebody beside you, a professional colleague, and use this line: distinguished professional colleague, I salute you. Do it on the left and the right. Do it on the left and on the right. Just say, distinguished professional colleague, I salute you. For those of you who are online, just imagine that other people are online with you and turn to them and say, distinguished professional colleagues online, I salute you. Whether they answer you or not, that will not be much of my problem. Once again, very, very distinguished colleagues, the agenda is now available for us. Number one, you have registration. Remember that you can register online. Number two, we've taken that already. We are the adoption of the other parts of the agenda. This is calling on distinguished colleagues to please take a look at it, either online or right there on the screen for adoption. We require someone to move the motion for adoption, or if there are comments, we'll take that. We have 60 seconds to do this, and 10 seconds is already gone. So, I believe there are no comments. We move for adoption. You're free to stand. The microphone is available if you wish to adopt the agenda. The microphone to the beautiful lady, one of our directors from FRCN. Please take the microphone. Just adopt the agenda. Your name.
I hope it does not matter. I wasn't here last.
Yes, this is just the agenda, not the minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm Folashade Orimolade from the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. I hereby adopt the agenda.
Thank you. Move for the adoption of the agenda. A seconder will now be required. A mail will be appropriate. There's one behind you, man. Go ahead.
I, Oko Ode, second the motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you very much. I can now, as the PRO, not the returning officer for Edo State, but the PRO for the FCT, my name is Dr. Tokwe Ojeme, tell you that the minutes and the agenda has now been adopted. And with that, I'll pass the microphone over to our very distinguished chairman of the FCT chapter. The microphone swings to Mr. Stanley Ogadigo, fellow of the Institute. A round of applause for him is appropriate.
Thank you very much, our able PRO. The President the Vice President Domestic, the yes, that is the First Lady, the council members here present, our distinguished speaker for today, distinguished fellows of the Institute, ladies and gentlemen. Well, my opening remark is very, very short, and just to say that 4:30 has come to stay. Once it is 4:30, we start our meeting. And on that note, I want to profoundly thank you for keeping to time. This is a good number to start the meeting. And when others come to see that we have started, by next time, they will come early. So once again, on behalf of the Executive Committee and the entire chapter, we warmly welcome you all. And we look forward to your very active participation. Like somebody said, is it the PRO that is your participation that keeps us going? But before I drop the immediate past chair, where do you want to belong, actually? So let's answer this question very clearly. We want you on the high table. No, it's not. The eyes have it already. So, okay, fine. Okay, we'll take it. Okay.
Every time. Federal level.
Okay, no problem. Let her keep the president and the wife company. Maybe from next from next meeting, we'll continue. Thank you very much and welcome. PRO, quickly do the recognition.
Very distinguished professional colleagues, it is a privilege to recognize the #1 member of the NIPR, the people's president, the man who talks and does what he says, the man we are sure, if made a resident electoral commission, will not rig election. As at now, I'm sure of that. Please, a round of applause for the president of the NIPR, Dr. Ike Neliaku. With him is the mother of NIPR. I've just been told that she's vice president domestic. By appointment, not by election. Please, a recognition to our very distinguished Mrs. Neliaku here with us. We recognize you, ma'am. We have very, very distinguished council member and former chairman, immediate past chairman of the NIPR, Hajia Miriam Sanusi, is also here with us. We celebrate you, ma'am. Other members of council who are joining us online, you are recognized and very well celebrated. We have fellows of the Institute here with us. The very, very distinguished general in the army, the general of NIPR, who is also a very distinguished council member. And not General Lukoladisa, but this general that I see right in front of me is another general I'm sure does not carry ballot boxes and doesn't get involved in anything relating to elections. Well, as at now, I'm sure. Please, a round of applause for our very distinguished council member, General. Thank you very much. Also recognize fellows of the Institute, one of them, Professor, the one we call Professor, fellow Peter Oyineye, is also here with us. We recognize you. In the same vein, by the permission of Mr. Chairman, I recognize very, very distinguished fellows. They are dotted in parts of this room, including my boss, the Dammasani himself, and very distinguished fellows in different parts of this room, dotted and online. We recognize you all very, very distinguishedly. We also recognize members of the Institute and elders of the Institute. One of them is Elder Alaba, whose son will be getting married very, very soon. And he's in euphoria of delivering another baby by extension. not by election. I also want to very well recognize new members who are here. Council member, another council member. Oh, I didn't see our very distinguished council member seated beside Diowe Botuloton in Aminu Longe Damanka, Salumier Brioka, Akerdo Ladwinois. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir. Please, a round of applause for our distinguished council member. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. I recognize also new members and friends who have joined us. At the appropriate time, we'll recognize you very, very specially. The microphone swings back to Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, the PRO. We'll move straight into the next item on the agenda. And that, just like you said, we'll be recognizing them as they come. Let's quickly take the minutes of the last meeting so that we'll move straight into the next item.
Distinguished professional colleagues, the voice you now hear is the voice of the secretary coming through the voice of the PRO. The minutes is now presented before us on the screen. You also have copies of the minutes on your email if you registered last month. We are advised to take a look at the minutes. This is page 1. Page 1. This is now page 2. Can we go back to page 1 and be sure that everyone is satisfied? Page 1. Page 1. Yes, Mr. President. The microphone. The microphone.
So there's nothing like the national president. He's the president.
Okay, that correction should be noted. And thank you very much, Mr. President. The president. Thank you very much, sir. Any other observation? Any other observation? We move to page 2.
PRO, do you want more observation or you are leading us through this minute?
Are there any others? I didn't hear any voice. Page 2. Annual General Meeting, Project and Partnership Committee, Financial Reports, Professional Platform, page 3. Introduction of new members, birthdays and anniversaries, AOB announcements, committees inaugurated, executive committee updates, closing remark, and motion for adjournment. Microphone. Here, our distinguished councilman.
Mr. President, Chairman, very distinguished colleagues. Stanley Ogadigo is supposed to be under chairman is supposed to be under his name, and assistant secretary under Victoria Abba Paul. Can you please align that?
Okay. Please, let's align this so it's not, so that we don't mistake it. Yes, the chairman, so that we don't change the figures. I don't know where figures are changed anyway. You tell me. Sir, yes, I'm from Edo State. We don't change figures in Edo State. We don't. We only change online. We substitute. That's the word. We substitute. If you ask my distinguished fellow Grace Zamani, very distinguished, she knows that in Edo State we don't change figures. Distinguished fellow, please protect me. You are my big sister. Protect me. All right. So with this, we'll now request for adoption, a movement for adoption of the minutes and a seconder. Please, if you so wish, with the correction that has been observed by Mr. President, except if there's any other, please indicate by raising your hand. Please, the microphone.
Mr. President, Chairman, ESCO members, fellows, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I, Brigadier General S.K. Usman, retired, hereby very tired, hereby move for the adoptions of the minutes of the last meeting as corrected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our distinguished general. The microphone's this way. That's a general command.
Okay, Mr. President, council members, chairman, fellow colleagues, my name is Mariam Sanusi. I hereby second the motion for adoption of the minutes of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly tender apologies. I was speaking to fellow Yemisi Oyekola and I was calling her Grace Zabani. Thank you very much. Thank you. So with that, we are good to go. Let me recognize Honorable Charles Ezobunwa, FNIPR, also here with us. Thank you very much, sir. We recognize Prince Moses Duku, FNIPR, our guest speaker for today, here with us. Please, a round of applause for him. You will be hearing a lot from him when the time comes. We also recognize, of course, I mentioned, very distinguished fellow Yemisi Oyekola, FNIPR, here with us. Fellow Grace Zamani, FNIPR, also well recognized. Thank you very much. With this, we move on in the meeting. According to the agenda, we will now proceed to matters arising from the minutes and otherwise. I hand over to Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Piero. Mr. President, sir, while he was doing that, somebody very important walked in. And then he also came with two big fish in the industry. I want to very respectfully announce the arrival of distinguished fellow Elder Emmanuel Ogidi. Yes, President is looking for you. So also, please make sure that a seat is made available at the presidential wing so that, yes, so that it can be properly seated. Shift, and put the seat there. Thank you very much, Mr. President. For those of us who may not know, Elder Emmanuel Ogidi is a fellow of the Institute. Distinguished fellow, exactly. So he's also, or he was the immediate past chairman, Delta State Trust Fund, and at the same time special advisor to the governor of Delta State the immediate past. But we are glad to say that while he served as special advisor to the immediate past governor, the new governor is his boy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the father of a governor in the house. Yes. We have been watching you on television. Today we have you live with us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Of course, he also came with a team of delegation. The PRO is going to recognize them duly as at when due. Thank you very much. We now take the matters arising. From the matters arising, we just have 2 items. One is AGM, and then the second is partnership. We'll first start with the partnerships committee. If distinguished fellow and the APRA Secretary General is here, please, he should be on the hot seat in the next couple of minutes. Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Come and update us on what the partnership committee is doing, please.
Mr. President, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the ESCO for FCT, dear fellows, permit me to recognize my elder brother, especially Mr. Kola Ologbodiyan, the spokesperson of the PDP. Please rise, so for those who don't know you. Yes. And then, of course, a senior person to me that I respect tremendously, Mr. Emmanuel Ibechi, please rise. Dear members, dear friends and colleagues, I'm sorry I rushed in here because I also had to prepare for a prayer meeting, which ESCO meeting coincidentally is also today. I have to go virtual soon. I was just taking permission from the president. If we want to run things professionally, as a matter of fact, Mr. President, I think the chairman of my chapter need to pay me today, because it's as if today is for FCT, NIPR, and I'm on sabbatical for today, because we have been moving from one meeting to another. But that's fantastic. Dear colleagues, we had assignment as a committee for project and partnership. We had made presentation before this distinguished assembly concerning an immediate project and partnership that we need to go into, which is with Drawbridge Communications Marketing Company, which is, of course, led by one of us. Based on the approval of the Executive Council, our committee proceeded to engage, and now we have, we're happy to say that the assignment you have given to us, we are shipping up properly. There is a program right now, and then it is this assembly that will decide when we should run, but we have made suggestions to have one training before the end of the year, because we know also that we'll soon be entering the third quarter. And this particular training is going to focus on those who wish to set up private practice. We know the environment is challenging, but we also know the power of the informal sector. There's a need, despite the fact that most of us in Abuja are in the public sector, we have a sizable number of people in the private sector. And we feel that for those who may want to go into private sector, we need to build the Abuja chapter to be as robust as what we find in Lagos, where we have a preponderance of those who are in private sector constituting members of NIPR. So we are moving into that, and we don't want a situation where people will have ideas and they are a bit afraid to go into private practice, or they feel that they need more capacity. We have agreed on certain persons that are in practice, both here and in Lagos, that we are going to bring on board. Some of them have international exposure already, haven't practiced public relations and communication management with international organizations. Some of them are going to be here for that particular first leg, which is actually focusing on how to set up and run a private public relations consultancy firm. And we are ready. If you give us the next order, we will proceed. We have told the chairman this afternoon when we had a meeting some hours ago that we are ready provided this assembly just give approval for us to go on. We have proposed that in the first week of December that we will have the first training of this partnership. The details are right here available. I don't want to take much time. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, I will just request that we call on the lead consultant of Drawbridge to please give more details. But one thing I want to just appeal to us is this. At the level of our committee, we have looked at the structure of this program. We have looked at the literatures available. We have looked at the curriculum. We have looked at the model. And they fit into contemporary needs of those who want to go in. The people we are bringing on board, their experience are as diverse as public relations. So I will call on Mr. Hassan Abdul to please come and give more detail, and then to say you will hear from us immediately after this meeting. We will start the marketing process, and we encourage and appeal to members to please subscribe to this training. Thank you very sincerely. Mr. Abdul Hassan, please. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you very much, my dear doctor. We have been together almost all day. I would like to first of all begin by recognizing the presence of our president. Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to always be with you. My chairman, again, we're meeting. This will be the second time we're meeting today. Also to all the distinguished fellows here in the house, as well as all my professional colleagues. I would like to begin by just continuing from where he stopped. We were here about 2 months ago when this partnership was initially proposed. We made a brief presentation to the House. But since then, we've been working, and it's been a very interesting project. The idea, like he has said, is to create a platform that makes the Abuja PR consulting ecosystem viable. We have, over the years, found Abuja struggling, lagging behind our peers in places like Lagos. And it's nothing other than just the need to build the capacity and strengthen the ecosystem. It's not an impossible task, and that was why we took it on. And we looked at what are the easiest, the quick wins. And we found one of the easiest things to do is to bring in people who have walked this path before, to come and talk to people who want to also go down that route. So some of the people who are going to be talking, or who are going to be bringing on board, are based in Lagos. They've set up private consulting practices. They've done well. We also have some in Abuja who also have started and who have also done well. So it's this mix of resource persons, those coming with the expertise from Lagos and those with the local expertise of the Abuja market, that we believe will give the potential PR, we call them PRpreneurs, so prospective PR business owners. And if we check even amongst us, we have a lot of people who have either, or who are in public service, who will desire that when they exit public service, they're able to continue their career, their practice, if there is that platform, that support structure. And so I don't know if the presentation is ready. We just a few slides from what we've been discussing, so that it's a bit more. Okay, so I think it's not ready yet. So, but that's the summary. We have a number of modules which we have developed. These modules cut across areas like building a consulting practice. How do you identify what your own niche market is? A lot of times we think that there aren't opportunities in PR or in communication because we focus too narrowly. This discipline of ours is extremely broad, and is to identify where are your strengths, where should you focus. We also look at things like, if you want to set up your own consulting practice, what's the model you are going to adopt? What's your revenue model? How do you understand the financials of it? How do you build your team? the HR requirements, what exactly will help you to succeed? How do you market your brand? How do you even create an identity for your brand that will enable you to stand out and to compete? How do you identify the right market for you? Not everybody's market is the same. For some people, it may just be personal branding. You may have worked closely with your CEO where you are, and you understand what CEOs need for them to really stand out. And you can take that as your area of expertise which you want to market when you exit from service. For some people, it may just be stakeholder engagement based on the competence you've built over the years when you were in public sector. That is a whole market on its own also. So it's for us to be able to identify that there are so many sub-disciplines that we can play our strengths to and find the right market for. Hopefully by the time we commence the process of advertising this and we share some of the summaries, I'm sure everybody here will be able to find one area or the other where they will be able to key into for those who are willing to take that bold step, because again, let's not deceive ourselves. Going into business in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted. So, but for those who are willing to take that bold step, I can assure you that the support needed for you to set up a business and to ensure that it thrives are part of the things that we are working together with the chapter committee to lay the groundwork for. Hopefully, if all things work well, maybe by the time we are gathered here, maybe in a year's time to take stock, we'll have a number of people here who, if we ask, can raise up their hands to say, we started a practice and somehow, somewhere, it's actually taking it has taken off. So thank you very much. I thought the presentation would be ready, but it's not ready. But that's the summary of it. That's what we are working on. And as Dr. Moni has confirmed, everything that is needed for us to commence that first training in December has already been concluded and just awaiting final approval. Thank you very much.
Okay, Hassan, do not run away yet. Yeah, still stand. Thank you very much for the brilliant presentation. Just like both of you have said, we have been on this for some time now. And just today, I can tell why the presentation is not up. Because we had to do some adjustment just a few hours before this meeting in a very crucial meeting. And I do not even expect the slide to come up, Hassan, okay, sir, because the picture of the president has not been reflected. And I know that it's considered as one of the resource persons. So it wouldn't even have been nice that we portray the pictures and our lead trainer is missing. So you can as well clap for us for intentionally not showcasing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
On a more serious note, I think this is a very important project that is very key to the heart of this administration. We came in, and even before we came in, we had spotted this. When Hassan said FCT is lagging behind, I wanted him to put that in very clear context. FCT is first in all ramifications in terms of performance. However, we have also discovered that in the area of public relations consultancy, we are yet to be there. And this is a gap that is enabling those who are outside the FCT to take our food, to take our briefs. FCT is the city of power in terms of government. And what you discover today is that if any serious organization needs a very serious strategy or PR strategy to deploy, they fly to Lagos, or they fly those who are in Lagos into Abuja. So for us, it's not a very palatable story that we'll continue to tell. So one of the things we put in place is a mechanism to bridge this gap, to ensure that, he rightly said, we enlarge the ecosystem of public relations consultancy in the FCT. So this project is very, very dear to us. I just finished a meeting with both Drawbridge Communications Limited and the leadership of the FCT chapter project and partnerships committee. And I know within the hours we spent, how we interrogated those who are going to be speaking to us in that training. Of course, like he said, you are going to be seeing new faces coming to teach you, interact with you. We must admit that in Lagos, we have more consultancy, more people who are into consulting, those who have done it and they're still doing it. So we want to get the best hands to come and teach us, especially those who are retiring. When you retire, it is not just enough to attend monthly meetings. It's now more important that you set up your firm, and then we can call you to please take this brief and you deliver. That is one potential client. Another is those who are coming afresh and may want to really be on their own without working for the NMPCs of this world or CBNs of this world. With the finishing school that is coming on board, God willing, we should be able to step out of the finishing school and say, look, I will want to be on my own. So this consultancy becomes very, very key. So we're also targeting those who are young in the system. And then we are also, the third leg, will also be targeting those who have already established one or two firms. I don't want to say briefcase companies, but the companies that are still thriving. So we need to really train them so that they can also grow better. At the end of the day, FCT should be, if not leading, should be coming second, if not first, in terms of PR consulting. So please, I want us to take this very, very seriously. We have shortlisted some resource persons, and then we are just hoping. In Abuja, it's only the president that is going to join the team from Lagos to train those who are going to enroll for this program for the 2 days we are looking at. It's going to be 8 areas in all, and we are looking at 4 competent resource persons for 2 days. That is a huge cost bringing them from Lagos. So I want to appeal that you are not doing this for Drawbridge alone. It's a partnership, and then I think it's 60-40. So whatever that is coming out from there, the FCT, your chapter, also has something to go home with. But more importantly, we are not actually keen on profit, but we want to ensure that we empower our members to be able to take the rightful position in the affairs of PR consulting in Nigeria. I think that is more important to us than making profit. However, if the profit comes, we will not reject. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we just give the young man 2 minutes if there is any question, comment, intervention. Otherwise, the price has not been fixed. I have told them to go and look at the economics of it and ensure that the factors are represented correctly. Then they will come back to us on the pricing. But I assure you that within the year, latest by first week of December, because from now till December is very, very tight for our resource persons, including the president himself. So we're going to consult and get back to you, but the price will be fixed and we can advertise them. Okay, Damasani, over to you, please.
President, council members. Oh, okay. Mr. President, council members, fellow professional colleagues, I think this is a very wonderful development. We should give our president and the entire NIPR a big round of applause for this. The chairman has already answered the question I wanted to ask, but I have a rider. He said the price is yet to be fixed. So even though the price is not fixed yet, I think we should look towards, are we going to be having a segregated price? That is, fellows will be paying 5 naira, for example, and then members will pay whatever. And then secondly, would there be any segregation with those who are already operating the briefcase PR, using your word? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the first question, no, there is no segregation. Everybody is coming to enrich himself or herself. So the knowledge is the same, no class. We are treating everybody the same way. Then for the second one, the answer is yes. We're also targeting those who have existing public relations firms so that we can get better. Thank you. Any other? Otherwise, I think we'll be good. Watch out on our platform, WhatsApp platform, and all our social media handles. As quickly as they can fix the prices, then we'll come back to you and go to the wider market. Thank you very much. So, Hassan, I think you are released. You can go back to your seat. So, we want to invite the AGM.
Hello everyone, distinguished colleagues. My name is Grace Omechere Ayola, FNIPR. As the chairman of this year's conference on AGM, I'd like to assure you that this year's AGM will be the best ever. Also note that all machineries are put in place for your comfort and ease of registration. All you need to do is go on the chapter website, www.niprfct.org.ng to register. Go to the event button, click on the event and see all the outlined events and programs available for you to register. Thank you very much for your contributions and your support as we look forward to a great and wonderful event this year. God bless you. See you then.
Mr. President, my chairman, the ESCO, fellows in the house, distinguished professional colleagues. We have an assignment, so I still need to talk. Mr. Chairman. Okay. Unfortunately, our slide is not available at the moment, so I'll just quickly read what we have without waste of time. We have some events already outlined. I will quickly read them. We have the proposed PR conference event, and this is tagged the PR Professional Spotlight. This is actually designed for a give back to our members. It is a sort of social responsibility for our members. So it is an informal section, actually. It's designed to profile practical solutions to members' PR challenges. So it is a place to relax. It's not, it's a solution event, not a lecture. So we are expected to relax and feel free and express yourself and the challenges you're having. So this is not only for members with challenges. If you want to be a problem solver, a solution finder, this is where you should be. And the proposed date for this event is October 19th, 2024. If you say that is on a Saturday, so we don't need people rushing to the office and coming back. We want you to be relaxed because we want it to be held in a relaxed atmosphere. Now, the venue will be sent on our platforms. Anticipated number of participants, we have 150. And then we have the event structure, which is 5 groups with a moderator each. Now, what are we expected? What are the outcomes? Enhance members' problem-solving skills, strengthen professional network, boost members' confidence in executing PR strategies, update knowledge on industry trends. Now, we have created a survey, and because we want everybody to be part of this, and we want your challenges and issues to be posted ahead of time. So this survey will go out on our website, our WhatsApp page, or WhatsApp platform, for members to fill out their challenges, their problems in their various workplaces. We don't need your name. We don't need the organization you represent, because we don't want issues. We want to solve problems. We don't want to create problems for you. Now, the deadline for the submission of this survey is on Wednesday. So I think we have it already on the platform, on the WhatsApp platform. Uzo, I'm sure we have it already on the platform. So we have to go to our WhatsApp platform and then check on it and fill out our challenges. So ensure that your challenges are being captured and attended to accordingly. Now, Mr. Chairman, we have 3 events for the conference. We have the pre-event, which we have said, so we have 3 other ones. We have the PR professional workshop. We have the tertiary institutions PR workshop for undergraduates of mass communication and marketing. We also have the AGM and conference, dinner, and award. Now, the day 1, we have the professional workshop, and the proposed date for this workshop is 26th November 2024. And our venue for this event is Nikon Luxury Hotel. Anticipated number of participants is 150. What is the structure? Lead speak, and sectional moderator. Now, we will also have this posted on our WhatsApp because we have topics, but we want a situation where everyone has an input in this. So for the topics, a survey has also, I think it has also been posted, sent on the platform for members' input and contribution. This exercise is expected to end on the 30th of September. We have proposed speakers for this event. At the moment, we have just 2. We are still speaking to the 3rd person. We haven't spoken to these 2, so we said propose. We have none other person, our president, Dr. Ike Neliaku, and we have also Dr. Omoni Ibieto. We'll tell you later. So the tertiary institutional student workshop, of course, is holding on the 27th November 2024, and this will be held at Nile University of Nigeria. Anticipated number of participants is 200. The schools that will be invited, we have the Nile University, Bayes University, Bingham University, University of Abuja, Nasarawa State University, and Veritas. The structure is learning workshop. So we have proposed 2 themes. One, preparing for the AI-driven PR communications landscape. That's the skills and strategies for success. We have AI-generated content, friend or foe for PR professionals. And the day 3, which is a conference proper, and the AGM will be held on the 28th November 2024 at Nikon Luxury, Abuja. Anticipated number of participants, we have 500. And then the structure is a keynote address and panel section. We have an approved team, leadership and economic transformation. We have a keynote speaker already who has confirmed his presence. We have Dr. Dakuku Peterside. And the panelists for this event, we have Dr. Dayo Olani, who will be the moderator, not you, Doctor, not Dr. Omoni. We have Dr. Ruben Abati as well as one of the panelists for this event. So we have other names that will come on board later. So for special guest of honor, we have a number we have reached out to, waiting for their response. We have His Excellency Mohammed Umar Bago, the Executive Governor of Niger State. We also have His Excellency Umar Fintiri, who is the Governor of Adamawa State. We have Honorable Minister of FCT, Yeson Wike. We also have Dr. David Iduanu, Access Pension MD. We have Dr. Matthew Adepoju, Director General, NASDA. We have other names still coming up. We've been trying to reach them. These ones have been communicated to, just waiting for their response, and we will get back to the House on that. Mr. Chairman, this is the AGM conference fee for all our members. We have fellows, 70,000, members, 60,000, associate, 50, and graduate member, 40,000. The professional workshop fee is 250,000 naira. The PR professional spotlight and the tertiary institutions are both free. Dinner and award and exhibition, all the details and modalities of this will be posted in all of our social media and WhatsApp platform. We have special feature for this program, which is the e-registration. Now, the committee is pleased to announce that the e-registration platform or portal is up running and open for registration. So we encourage everyone to go to the chapter website, niprfct.org.ng for your registration. Now, our plea. We appeal to all of our members to support this drive for sponsorship. We also we solicit your assistance to follow up on our letters which are dropped already in your various organizations. Also help us to mobilize PCs in your circle to register for the professional workshop. We also plead that you should pay your AGM fee on time to enable us plan effectively. So please, we are appealing that we pay our fee right on time. For the spotlight, we have just 3 weeks left from now. If you calculate, check the date, we have just 3 weeks left. So please, let's do the needful as quickly as possible. So for the organization for those who want us to visit, who wants us to come on courtesy visit, please quickly reach out to us, reach out to the committee immediately, and then we will arrange for that. So thank you very much for listening. Mr. Chairman, this is our AGM and conference report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give her a bigger round of applause. I think as at last meeting, she was part of us all the way from the United Kingdom. So when the video was playing, I was thinking she was still there. So now that we have her live, I think she has done justice to the committee's report. Thank you very much. We'll now give the platform to those who are going to really do the work for you, to interact with you in the next 3-5 minutes. Then we'll go into the next item on the agenda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to comment or present our interventions on what she has presented. Who is helping us with the microphone, please? Okay. The general, yeah.
Well, Mr. Chairman, sir, ESCO, fellows, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Actually, mine is to commend the chairperson and our committee for raising our hope, whetting our appetite, in the sense that from all indication it is going to be a very successful AGM. And sincerely, it is very, very commendable. Anyway, we know who you are, so we expect nothing less than that. So, but I want to appeal to each and every one of us, because there is this saying, better soup na monikilamgo. There is every likelihood this lofty ideas will not be achieved. Contribution from each and every one. Can you leave that in, please? Maybe you have just leave that place completely. No, but that is it. So honestly, I would like to appeal to each and every one of us. In any way you can support, in any way you can contribute to ensure the success of this AGM, please, we should do so. We should pay our dues. So thank you very much and well done.
Do we have any other person? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, General. While the microphone is getting to them, a director called me from where you visited, and then he also told me how you forced him to be attending chapter's meeting. Thank you very much for supporting the chapter always. That is what we expect from people of your caliber. Let's give him a big round of applause. It was not our business he went there to do, but he has to incorporate ours because he is patriotic. Madam Chinwe Obuka, we're waiting for you.
Thank you very much, the chair, the president, the chairman, fellows in the house, and my colleagues. Good evening. I want to sincerely commend the chairman and the members of this year's AGM. In fact, when I went through the proposal on network, on our platform, I actually called her and said, well, this year's AGM is going to be high-tech. And like our general said, we know who she is, we know she's going to deliver. I've actually mentioned to her one or two things I think the committee should do. I've given that advice to her, and then she has accepted to do it. Once more, congratulations we're expecting to have the best, as you have said. Thank you and congrats to your team.
So women are supporting women now. Yes. Okay, Akirogo, I hope you are going to be a he for she.
Mr. President, Chairman FCT, fellows in the House, professional colleagues. My name is Akirogo Alaba Yusuf. Mr. Chairman, you know that I'm not gender sensitive, but I'm gender submissive. You know that. Some days ago, I invited our fashionista. I call her, she's an entrepreneur. We know she's into business. You can imagine a fashionable person like that who is into waste business. So she's translating waste into wealth. With Mrs. Ayola and Omoluabi for that matter, we know she's bringing everything on the table, and that we're supporting her. And I can assure you that some of us too, we are trying to push things in. Thank you very much. The ladies are there to do things for us. They won't change the figures. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Akinrogu. All your comments are very, very heartwarming. And then I want to say that distinguished fellow Grace Ayala, you should be smiling. Is it to the bank or to the victory? Whichever way. So I think that is basically that for that. There is no more hands up. But I just want to make a few comments on the AGM. Thank you very much for the detailed report. For your event, that is like a free event for all the chapter members. We'll still get back to you. I want to see how the president will also be there. The president has blocked the 3 days for the AGM, but this was not captured. Clap very well, please. Yes. Thank you very much. At least I was there when the diary was closed, so I can speak authoritatively. So for this 4th event, or the first, as a prelude to the main event, I will still want to run it with him so that he will be there. The reason he's going to be there will be for 2 serious reasons. One is that, like she rightly said, it's going to be a solution-driven gathering. We are going to learn practical public relations in very, very informal way. As at yesterday, we are still interrogating them in the night. Coincidentally, it happened in this hotel. Yes. No, this one is not between only 2 persons, but between us and the committee. So they left here very late, and then a whole lot in terms of interrogating their report happened. So please, we want to appeal to all of us. This one is no pay event. It's just finding a way, maybe because she's a mother as well, ensuring that everybody takes something, both those who have money and those who do not have. So that is inclusivity. And like I said, we are going to be doing public relations practically in very relaxed manner. Part of the debate yesterday was whether it was going to be a physical event, week event or weekend. But 90% we agreed that it was going to be on a Saturday morning between 10 to 12, so that if you also have weddings and other engagements, you will do. But very importantly, it's going to be based on the survey, and that is where I want to draw our attention. We have told them not to run that survey more than 1 week so that we can prepare. Do not put your name. Just give us what problems you are facing in your organization. So we are going to get those after categorizing them based on the information from you. We are going to get some hands that will attempt those questions in 2-3 minutes. And then we open up the floor for others who may not have been contacted to also help in solving the problems. So it's not going to be a lecture like she said, and then it's going to be the maiden edition, and we need to take it very, very seriously. So we're inviting you to come take it free. And then the next one again is the students program, which is also free. It's our way of reaching out as part of CSR and S, giving back to the society. So we will also need your support. The chapter may not have all the funding to do that. But if you leave it to us, we'll still use our monthly dues to do what we can do. But we want to plead with you to support us so that we can do it better and better. Then on the 2 core events, the workshop, they're also proposing the president for that. I think the president is highly, highly subscribed. But I want to assure us that for the love he has for the chapter, if he's in town on any day that is fixed to speak, he will always oblige us. So we are going to also run the timing and the topic with him. I'm praying that he will oblige us that important request. So I want to also, on behalf of the AGM, appeal to us to support them. You know that our trainings are always top-notch, and this one will not be less. They are also suggesting very good resource persons. For me, knowledge is key, and for all of us, it should be the same. So please, 250,000, yes, it may be high, but you and I know what the country is saying today. If we take 100,000, of course, we may be giving you substandard lectures or training. So, but when we collect the 250,000, you'll be very much assured of the kind of quality you will go home with. Then for the general one, that is 50, 70,000 according to our categories. The PRO, please, after this meeting from today, let's start running the campaign on our platforms so that people can pay at convenience. That dinner, everybody must be there, and we need everybody to be there. But we also need to pay up so that we can attend very, very gallantly. Then for the special guests of honor, we are working on it. AGM committee, please include the Minister of National Planning. And I know that in this house, beginning from the first man from my left, that Masani is his friend. And then we are working towards him, bringing him as a special guest of honor. And then the governor of Zamfara, somebody is also working on him. Also take note so that at the end of the day, we just narrow down to those we can comfortably bring. So Damasani, I've already exposed you. So if you have not discussed with the former governor and now Minister of the Federal Republic, okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Yes, so I think that is that on that. And then lastly, please, the AGM committee, they need support beyond the 50, 70, 20,000. We need some of us to lead us into organizations so that we can get sponsorship. Very, very key. We want to, at this point, recognize, I think that should be the first organization that have supported this AGM, and that is NISAL. I don't know whether anybody is from there. As at yesterday, while we were at the meeting with the committee, the spokesperson called me and then said that something has been approved to support the AGM. So I think that should be a cheering news to the AGM chairman. That is a subsidiary of the CBN, for those of us who may not be familiar with the name. So we need more. And then as they come, we keep on publishing them and then appreciating them. And then one of the things they also did that impressed me was to look at the offers that we are giving as benefit, and they negotiated on what actually will fit their organization. And then we looked at it and we arrived at a very win-win situation. So if our letter gets to your organization and you feel that, oh, all this we have them, okay, can we do this? Please feel free to approach the AGM committee chair or any member of the ESCO or the AGM. Then we are flexible. We are not rigid. On that note, Grace, we want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
And look forward to a befitting AGM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
African University of Science and Technology. Grace, please, somebody is suggesting that you should include them. Very important. Okay, the PRO, please. I think at this point, let's quickly recognize one or two dignitaries, then we'll go into the professional platform.
Thank you very much, distinguished Mr. Chairman. We're glad to have here with us some other dignitaries that had joined us earlier. I have to specifically say, you would have noticed, I think, a core member who was around much earlier. That's because High Chief Emeka J. Ngbemena, the director of NYC Media himself, is live in this room. He's a fellow of the NIPR, very distinguished. He came right on time, was here very, very early, and we're very glad to see you, sir. Though there are questions about core members and elections, I'm sure he would answer that. Let's talk about that on radio or TV. We also want to already recognized, a very distinguished father here with us who came with very distinguished person, Honorable Emmanuel Ibeshi. We recognize him here. We also recognize the very distinguished Mr. Kola Olabodinyo, who came here, very, very vocal spokesperson for the PDP. And I didn't see him in Edo State, but I'm sure he must have been behind the scene. All right, and he's seated.
See him physically, but you would have seen him in action.
And right now he's seated beside a former director in INEC. 1 + 1 = 2. We also recognize very distinguished fellows who are here. Some fellows have joined us just as we were on with the meeting. The chairman has told me that introductions will be as brief as we can because we want to keep to time. But recognize fellow Chinwe Buka, fellow Moni Ibieton, of course, our very distinguished Secretary General of APRA. You heard him earlier. Fellow Folabi Olajuwon is here. Fellow Grace, you saw her already. Fellow Azuka Ogugwa is here with us. And you also know that we have the chairman, membership committee, services committee, very distinguished Agnes Abaji. She has asked that if you are not a member and you don't see her, your name will be removed from the voters list, from the NIPR list. We also have here with us the former spokesperson, Nigeria Correctional Service, Mr. Francis Enobore is here with us. Thank you. Basil Okoye, FNIPR, fellow of the Institute, here with us. Fellow Aderioye Abdurrahman is here with us. Thank you very much for being here. And very distinguished fellows who are here, who we may not see, we recognize you very, very specially, as I would swing the microphone back to Mr. Chairman for the next.
Go ahead, please, with the introduction of the guest speaker for the day.
All right. Distinguished colleagues, the guest speaker for today is yet another very distinguished gentleman per excellence. Every time on the professional platform, only at the FCT chapter, only. That's where you find excellence. That's the point in the script where you're supposed to clap. Thank you very much. That's because FCT chapter is number 1. Recently, I found people taking the names of some of the ESCOs of the FCT and placing us in different chapters along the country, across the country. And I asked why. They say, we want to claim relationship. That tells you that FCT is doing something very special. And why not? This is where the presidency is. So if you like, our own Winke is the chairman. Did I say Winke? I'm sure you understand. Let me introduce to us a very distinguished personality. A man who understands excellence, understands professionalism, and as such has taken out time to be with us today. I tried to use my phone to introduce him, but because it's a bit larger than my phone, I would need to use a laptop. That's to tell you how big the personality we are introducing is. His man we speak about is one who holds various degrees from various institutions in Nigeria and across the diaspora. He's a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, fellow Institute of Management Specialist, and of course, most importantly, he's a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. Help me to welcome the founder of Gold Hill Attorneys, a purpose-fit law office in Jahi, Abuja, and a man who is leading in everything he does. The indefatigable Dr. Research student of law and an activist extraordinary, Prince Barrister Moses George Duku, our guest speaker for today. You're welcome, sir.
Nipr, I hope you have given him his time.
Yes, I have. And I will be monitoring it in a princely way.
Mr. President, my chair, council members here present, distinguished fellows of the NIPR, our elders who are here with us, and my very good professional colleagues. Very good evening to all of you. You're welcome. Mr. President, I'm in a peculiar situation this evening that makes me recall something that happened to me some years ago. 7 days after I was called to the Nigerian Bar, I found myself with my principal at the Supreme Court. And without telling me that I was going to say anything, and I had a full complement of the Supreme Court Lord Justices with the Chief Justice seated in the middle. And right there, my principal told me, Moses, you are going to move this application. Now, at the law school, they will tell you, don't bother to impress us. You will fail the exam if you want to impress us. You have all the time in the world. There are the judges. You will impress them. So when he told me that, I was very happy. I said, today, not today, me and these justices go see something. And then I stood up, followed the normal protocols, and then I started blasting. Everything that I could remember from law school, I started throwing it in. Then Justice Vivoro, GSC, retired, said, counsel, wait a minute. When were you called to the bar? I said, last week, sir. Everybody busted into laughter, and he said, Mr. Duku, just continue, just continue. So I find myself in a situation like that today, that I have to present this is the very first lecture I have to do, as it were, with the NIPR. My president is here. Chief Ogidi is there. He is like my big uncle from Wari. Council members are here. General SK is there. Damasani is there. All these eggheads are here. Just when I thought it was going to be okay, I saw my president telling Madam from University of Jos, my lecturer. It is well. You will have to accept me for what you make of me today. Very good. So, are we on? The slides. So our topic today is ethical imperatives of corporate public relations. And I have just 20 minutes to deal with this. But don't go away. The initial slides will look like PRO 101. Everybody know what the definitions are and all that. But that's not our take. Our take is a little bit different. So I will take just one. I'll take just the first definition. Okay, that's it there. It is a filtration of more than 500 definitions of public relations by Rex Harlow, a pioneer PR educator who founded what eventually became the Public Relations Society of America. He said PRO is a distinctive management function which helps establish and maintain mutual lines of communication, understanding, acceptance, and cooperation between an organization and its public, involves the management of problems or issues, helps management keep informed on and responsive to public opinion, defines and emphasizes the responsibility of management to serve the public interest, helps management to keep abreast of and effectively utilize change, serving as an early warning system to help anticipate trends, and uses research, and now I put that in red, sound ethical communication techniques as its principal tools. Because what I have in mind, the kernel of my conversation with you is on the ethics of our PRO practice. That's why I put it there. So I move on. I told you I will skip the other, the management of the executive council can make the slides available, but let's move on. So I will quickly say keywords in any definition, whatsoever, contextual, any operational definition you want to give to your PRO work has key words. Public relations is a deliberate, intentional activity. It's a deliberate, intentional activity for clear purposes. It is, you have to research. You have to know what the trends are, what is the existing problem, how do you deal with it, what do you seek to achieve, and what improvements do you seek. And then performance. Good PRO rests on real-time empirical policies and measurable performance. No amount or intensity of PRO campaign will generate any goodwill or support for a company if the company is seriously perceived or indeed known to be unresponsive to community concerns. Are you with me? If you speak all the English on television and you are dancing and the people know you don't care, you are going to have to deal with the consequences of that as time proceeds. Thus, a Pacific Northwest timber company, which carried out a campaign and said, for us, every day is Earth Day, became even more notorious and scorned as the villain of Washington because of the company's insistence on logging. You know what logging is? Yes, on logging, old growth forest and bulldozing a log ring into a prime elk habitat. So it doesn't matter what you say, people are watching what you do. Another key element of any definition is that your message must align with the public interest. This we all express through our CSR activities in the private sector, even in the public sector. And I'm now in the oil and gas sector, And the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021, regulates the industry. Now, there are provisions that have created a community trust, where it is the community that originates content for which you will now say you want to do CSR. You cannot just come with anything and impose on them like you're a humanitarian activist. No. These are real issues. If they need water, don't come and give them rice and stew in the evening. Then we have the two-way communication. Jim Osborne, former Vice President of Public Affairs at Bell Canada, said, the primary responsibility of the PRO counselor is to provide management a thorough grasp of public sentiment. And then, of course, it is a management function. If you are not sitting, if you say you are the head of a public relations department and you have no seat at the decision-making table, that organization is really proceeding nowhere. That's the truth. Because it is you, like Osborne said, who is to give them a feedback from the society. Isn't it? So it is a management function to that effect. Components of corporate PRO practice. We all know that even in the course of today, we've mentioned a lot of them. Counseling and advice to management on policies, relationships, and communication, which to me is very key. That's why you have to be at the management decision-making table. Research on attitudes and behaviors of relevant stakeholders and publics in order to meaningfully design and plan PRO strategies. Media relations, by which we respectfully work with the press for necessary publicity, as well as responding to their interests in our different organizations. Employee relations and inclusive internal communications. Of course, community relations also, where you engage with your host environment positively to enhance peace and greater productivity. Government affairs with particular regard to legislative persuasion and regulatory liaison. I'm sure a lot of us are into this. When a new policy, a new act, a bill is before the National Assembly, sometimes in our different workplaces, we have to generate input and see how far it affects us positively. Issues management to address especially public concerns, investor or shareholder relations to maintain investor confidence, industry relations between companies and with trade associations, multicultural relations, workplace diversity. I am privileged, if I can use that, word, to have worked in environments that are quite diverse. I spent about 20 years of my life in Julius Berger, and now I'm working in another place where there are both Nigerians and expatriates, and there are often cultural conflicts. And it is your duty as the PRO chief to create harmonious platforms for people to integrate and culturally assimilate into one another for progress and greater productivity. Then special events and marketing communication. These are all components of PRO practice. So I move now to our core conversation, ethical imperatives of corporate public relations. What is ethics in PRO practice? A system theorist, Bivin, propounded the systems model of ethical decision-making in public relations practice. Let me say at this point that I really didn't want to go into the theorization process for this. I want it to be as empirical, as practical as possible. But there are things we cannot escape. We have to give a little theoretical foundation to what we are talking about, and then we can proceed to everyday things that are happening. The theory, as further cited by Dr. Gabriel T. Nitsia in his article, Public Relations Ethics and Professionalism in Nigeria, suggests that the organization that focuses on their customers and stakeholders operates as an open system, and such an organization is essentially open to new ideas as well as constructive criticism. Isn't it? Yeah. There is also the credible two-way communication model deployed to profit an organization. It posits that the PRO practitioner should be the go-between his organization and his stakeholder publics. And that is the core of this conversation, because you have to be credible. Since you are a go-between your organization and the larger society, you have to be trustworthy. The people have to believe in what you are saying. They have to be able to rely on you. Your organization too has to be able to rely on what? On you. So you need a lot of ethical standards to be propounded and promoted by your person and the work you do. Nipr also further recommends that professionalism is established by building a set of specified standards, upholding members in proficient organization, conveying professional ethics and aims of the profession. We have, good, I'll finish this before 10 minutes. All right. Ethics are usually instituted by a collective, particularly professional groups, to control the behavior and practice of their members. Thus, it became necessary to formulate a code of ethics that will ensure PRO practitioners provide highly efficient, credible, and responsible services to members of the public. It is interesting to know that we are setting up trainings to create PRO consultancy companies and services for the FCT. So we need to drive this process with sound ethical vehicles. It cannot be an all-comers event. And I think it is because it cannot be an all-comers event that the chapter is making the move for the trainings to take place. So we know what our responsibilities are even before we get started. Consequently, as it relates to Nigeria, the law empowers the council of the NIPRO, the chairman of that council, the president is here, council members are here, to enact bylaws and code of professional ethics to regulate the conduct of members. I put some ethical regulatory enactments there. Bylaw number 1, which deals with conduct towards the practice of public relations by members, conduct towards the public, the media, and other professionals, conduct towards employers and clients, conduct towards colleagues. Bylaw number 2 deals with the establishment and functioning of state chapters, so that nobody can just wake up in Delta State, my state, and say they have formed a parallel chapter of the NIPR. It has to be something that is determined by rule from the center. Bylaw number 3, which specifies the qualification for membership and accreditation of public relations organizations throughout Nigeria. I know we have the Public Relations Consultants Association that is regulated by council somewhat also. So these are some of the provisions. Every member must respect the moral principles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. That is the whole essence. Every other provision of the code, in my view, is keyed into this provision. I recognize that each person has the right to reach his or her own judgment by himself, no coercion whatsoever. Respect the rights of parties in a dispute to explain their respective points of view, encourage the free circulation of public information, and preserve the integrity of channels of communications. You know what they say in journalism, your source is sacred, except, of course, the law compels you to disclose. Put truth and honesty of purpose before all other considerations. This will endear you to your organization and to your audience within the public space. Safeguard the confidence of his or her present and previous employers or clients. I have left Julius Berger, but there's nothing anybody can come and tell me to disclose classified information that I had access to while I was their senior manager. That is integrity, and that is regulated by law from the NIPR. Represent only interests which are not in conflict. don't represent, I'm a lawyer, you cannot represent two people at the same time in court. So it's the same thing here. Refuse to enter into any agreement which requires the attainment of certain results before the payment of professional fees. You find yourself in court dragging for your money. Protect the professional reputation of the practice of other members, but make it your duty to report on ethical behavior on the part of any member of the institute. Illegal housekeeping in this regard is not allowed by the reason of this code. Not to seek or displace any other member with his or her employer or client except with the mutual agreement of all parties. When I was to, I tell you something. When I wanted to resign from, Julius Berger, it was not a decision that I took. Hajia Miriam Sanusi was my chairman then. I remember telling you that very soon I will leave. So it was something that I planned. So I actually got my successor. Okay, I got my successor. I told him everything, and we agreed. I gave him my car. I even arranged and I gave him my house, and I'm very happy about that till tomorrow. I sat him on my chair the day I was to leave, and I prayed for him, and I left. So that is with mutual consent of everybody. You know, he still comes to my new office. If they have anything they think I can do for them, they still call me. So that is how it should be. That's how it should be. No, I don't. Not operate any front organization. You know what a front organization is? A proxy organization, different from your paying organization. Cooperate with other members in upholding and enforcing this code. Now, yes, please, the next slide. So we are going now to, excuse me if I may move closer. We go now to a case study about the professional ethics of public relations has become a science, isn't it? It's a science. So a science has methodologies that you have to follow, and then you walk to certain logical conclusions, yeah? Now, I was working, and you can see these are construction equipment. And overnight, a man who has been educated wrongly to believe that once government comes to your place and they break a little place, they will pay you compensation running into hundreds of millions. He developed very interesting ideas, and in the midnight before morning, our workers got to site, okay? And he placed all these charms all over our equipment. And the expatriates especially all ran away. They don't understand what all that meant, yeah? They didn't understand what it meant. So, of course, messages came to Abuja, and the management called me and said, Moses, the man said, what he's putting there is injunction. You are a lawyer, go and remove it. You see why I told you not to leave us until we get to this point? So I said, injunction. Injunctions are procured from the courts, not from voodoo shrines. Nevertheless, within the next 1 hour, I was on a plane going to the site. And I got there. I'm an African boy. I understand some of these things deeply too. So I made myself incognito. I didn't go with a company vehicle to the site. A friend of mine picked me up, and we went there. We were able to make all these pictures from the window of the car and watch them do all their abracadabra from a distance. And we left back to the hotel and started strategizing what can we do. The guy was very violent. And he was so dressed that if you were not an African who has seen these things before, believe me, you will shiver. And he was doing all kinds of magic, believe me. not just incantation, he would do things and things will show, snakes. But I'm 56 years of age and I've seen I've seen some of these things before. Yes, I'm from Delta. Masani, you will tell me what you mean by that later. So, I came back to Abuja. We had a meeting with the then minister, and somebody suggested, get him arrested. And the minister, very intelligent man, he said, you worsen the case. And he said something, Moses, you are a public relations practitioner. You have to find a way to make this man your friend so that he can take them out. I said, my friend, a voodoo priest. That's a new definition of friendship. But to cut the long story short, what you see here is this is the property of the gentleman. He deliberately blocked it so that when the flood comes, it will go into his property. And the flood went into his property and submerged it. But we were not going to pay for your own actions. I told my management that there is a principle in law called volenti non fit injuria. And that simply means that you cannot consent to an injury upon yourself and complain later that you have lost. So some other lawyers came. I told you one of the components of our practice as PRO people is our engagement with the press. So we got involved with the press. We took many of them. And these people you call native doctors, they are very intelligent these days. Don't forget, some of their children are PhDs. So they got some press crew, local press crew. And we got some bad publicity in about 3 platforms. So I got 60 platforms to tell the story based on the facts. And the man saw it, ran to one lady who was close to another lady in our organization and said, why did they do this to me? Enough bad rich like this. They don't spoil my family name. Governor say I dey spoil project. They say na government project. They won't come catch me. Why? So we knew we got him there, and that was a good place to start negotiating, And I flew back to. No. Mr. President, I have learned to pray. So we eventually met him and we sorted it out. The point is, there has to be a point of convergence. Thank you. A point of convergence where you erase your essentially legalistic as well as English model of ethics and understand the cultural nuances of the people and their own interpretation of ethics. And then you have a win-win situation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a very good pleasure to be here. And then finally, I have, Mr. Chairman told me I should get at least 2 case studies. But I realized that it's not just about case studies. So I developed a scenario. And this scenario, I want us to chorus it so that nobody will say it is this person that said this. And the scenario is there. Please put the slide. Yes. How many of us would stand up and stand firm for the NIPRO's professional code of ethics, which are fundamentally rooted in a sense of responsibility to society and public interest, in manifest concern for the competence and honor of the profession rather than for immediate careerist interest with the employer of the moment. How many of us can we do that? How many of us will do that? You see, we have a problem, isn't there? Yes, we have a problem. Somebody say, Moses, Gold Hill attorneys, you should be doing a lot of public interest litigation. I have 8 lawyers who earn their means of livelihood there. If they carry them away, who's going to take care of their families? So that's a constraint, and it's not different from what we have here in our institute. But having said that, we must, at our own level and history of practice, we must begin to realize our responsibility to succeeding generations of PRO practitioners to know that this is a profession, a very noble profession, and that we owe it a duty to stand up for what is right. And that is fundamentally ethical. That's fundamentally ethical. So finally, some essential pillars of PRO ethics. Uphold the credibility and dignity of our profession by practicing honesty, candor, and timely communication with accurate information, and always promptly correct erroneously communicated information. With the NIPRO, as I know it, I joined this institute in 1996, October, as an associate. I can say with all humility to my elders, we've all come a long way. Yeah? With the NIPRO, professional communication is legal communication. Professional communication is ethical communication. Professional communication is in good taste, not insultive, not abrasive, and sensitive to historically embedded cultural values and beliefs of our audience. 30 seconds, I'm done, thank you. Mr. President, my chairman, council members, distinguished fellows, and my distinguished professional colleagues, it's been a good pleasure talking with you, and I want to say thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for our guest speaker, Prince Barrister Moses George Duku, FNIPR, Head Communications, Media and Publicity, Public Relations, Greenville Liquefied Natural Gas Company Limited. Thank you so much, sir, for that very deep presentation. And of course, we enjoyed the case study. Please, another round of applause for him. I can say that one of the things he said here that has affected me now was volunteer non-fiti injuria. When I was told that I'm going to be sitting in place of Dr. Tope Ojeme to continue the moderation of this meeting, I felt that was my case. Thank you very much, distinguished professional colleagues, Mr. President, the chairman, members of the ESCOs, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, we are going to open the floor for contributions, for comments or questions from colleagues. Please, if you're interested, you have something to say, kindly raise your hands up and we'll identify you and give you the platform to make a comment.
Thank you very much, Uzo. Well, because of time constraint, I think we'll skip this aspect so that we can take 1 or 2 items on the agenda. We have less than 15 minutes to leave here. And then, I think that is acceptable. Yes. Fine, thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we call the president to address us, let me profoundly thank our keynote speaker for today. He has taken it from both theory and practice. So it's a combination of the two, and we're highly enriched. Thank you very much, sir. A bigger round of applause for him, please. So we'll now very quickly take 2 minutes to hear from the Corporate Social Responsibility and Sustainability. 2 minutes. Then we'll call on the president to address us and we'll close for today.
President, Chairman, Council members, fellow and my professional colleagues. This is a report of CSR and S committee. After inauguration, so these 2 minutes, I'm going to summarize it. We have subcommittees to handle our terms of reference. Then our activities so far. On 20th July 2024, we partnered with FCTA Healthcare Center in Gariketu. We participated in the Maternal, Newborn and Child Healthcare Week. The activities on that day was health screening, health talks, distribution of health materials, advocacy. So the committee participation in the FCT Maternal, Newborn and Child Healthcare Week was a success. We are committed to continue our efforts in promoting quality healthcare services and advocating for better healthcare outcomes for mothers, newborns, and children in FCT. Then we also, our Young Professional Hub of this chapter was also inaugurated on 31st July. Then our PR club in secondary school, the aim of setting up the public relation club in secondary school is to foster leadership, communication, and community engagement skills among students. So yesterday, Tuesday, 24 September 2024, we set up a PR club in Government Secondary School, Gariki, Area 10. So we had a massive support from both the school and management, and the attendance was quite impressive. The PR club was also inaugurated yesterday on that school. The committee will follow up on the activities and other events. We have 41 student members in the inauguration ceremony yesterday. So our objective is to establish a functional PR club in secondary schools, which we started yesterday, to recruit and train students members, to organize quarterly community service projects and events, among others. So, and we also have a proposed special project. We want to do standalone banners. We are proposing on that of the new national anthem, to distribute it to some basic schools in the local communities of the FCT. Following the recent change of the national anthem, we observed that some primary and junior schools, especially in the rural communities, experience challenges learning and mastering it, as they do not have copies of the new anthem displayed in their schools. So to assist such schools, the committee is proposing printing and distributing the approved copy of the new national anthem to the school, and to enable pupils learn.
1 minute, 50 seconds. So just have 10 seconds to go.
So the benefiting schools will be public primary school in the rural communities in the FCT, public junior secondary school in the communities of FCT. So the committee hopes to partner with the following agencies to execute this project: Universal Basic Education Commission, National Orientation Agency, and Federal Ministry of Information. So to this end, we have established a contact with the PRO of the UBEC FCT office, who promised to support the committee to actualize this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, we may not have much time to debate our report.
We also have a sample of the exercise book we presented to the new members of the secondary school PR corps. Come on.
Let me step forward to receive it from you. Okay, on behalf of the committee, Abi. Thank you very much. Let's give her a bigger round of applause. Because we are running very fast, in the next 10 minutes we should leave here. I want to commend this committee for a very, very good job, fantastic job actually, done yesterday. We have started a process of ensuring that public relations is planted from the grassroots. And when we made that statement of inaugurating them last 2 months or thereabout, we did emphasize that we want to catch them young. And this is actually the action point of catching them young. So yesterday was a landmark for us. The process has started, and like every new project, there is always a teething period. I've got their report, and the report is simply saying that, wow, public relations is wonderful, it's life. However, we need processes of approvals to get it to the point of press club. So for now, they want to function, but they want to do that under press club. They have also, because of the interest they have for PR, they have given us all the secrets that we need, because these children cannot wait to stand alone and start running as public relations students members. So we have taken up the challenge. We are in touch with the FCTA, Federal Capital Territory Administration, on this, and we are going to push it to ensure that we get the necessary approvals so that that will be done very, very quickly. On behalf of the Executive Committee, I want to profoundly thank this committee for what they are doing. As at when they called yesterday, I was not available, but I told them to go ahead, and they did. Let's give them a bigger round of applause. I want to very respectfully recognize some active members in that committee. Mr. Ayo Adewoyi is somebody who has contributed very greatly to the development of this chapter. And then he has been sponsoring that committee financially. Yes. So we remain very, very grateful to him. He would have been here, but as at yesterday, he was under the weather. And then today is getting better. By next meeting, okay, he is the Executive Director News of the Nigerian Television Authority. So by next meeting, he will be with us. At every minute he calls to see how we are faring. We want to also thank a distinguished fellow, Peter Oyeneye, who also gave a lecture yesterday to the students, and then is also very active in that committee. Thank you very much. To crown it all, the committee, I have worked very closely with them, and then we have come up with something very, very significant that is just going to be a 30-minute ceremony. And what is that? They have developed what we call corporate social responsibility and sustainability policy, so that whatever we are doing in CSR and S, we are doing them under this policy. And then I'm very, very delighted to inform us that this is going to be unveiled today. I would, on this note, very respectfully invite the President and Chief Elder Fellow Imogidi, then the distinguished council members and the wife of the President to very quickly come. Let us just unveil, then we take it from there. So this is one of the statements that the chapter is making. The chairman of the committee, please. You should be at the forefront of this.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here. Zabu, zabu, enyimba.
Well, thank you very much. It's important for us to know what we are unveiling. I trust the chairman, but you know, my responsibility is to counsel. So since it is president, I need to hear what I am unveiling, because once it's unveiled, I take responsibility. So, because otherwise, you know, last meeting, I was, what is the right word now? I was ambushed to present, in quote, a certificate that was long overdue. So today again, another thing. So I now have to be very careful before I come to FCT meeting. That's the implication. Okay, but it's actually a pleasure. And may I invite council members, please. Elder, when an elder is in the house, very, very distinguished elder, in whom we are well pleased. Please. And then Mrs. Neliako, please come. They said you are Vice President Domestic Matters. So, okay. Mr. Chairman, this is your program, so please, come up. So, may I request all of us to place our hand here and to raise this up. To the glory of God, we unveil this wonderful initiative. Congratulations, FCT. Congratulations, Chairman. Congratulations, all the executive members. We are very proud of all of you. Congrats, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On behalf of the chapter, Mr. President, sir, the chairman of the committee has instructed me to also present a copy of what was given to the student to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Then the elder too, all the way from Delta State, you take this as a token of our appreciation to the Delta State. Thank you very much. The keynote speaker, they say we should give you one. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to very quickly announce that there is going to be an event that the president himself will also be attending. Yesterday, I was at a meeting at Risk Continental, and it's very, very serious. It's going to be dealing with issues of leadership. And you know that today, what the NIPR is talking about, or the public relations profession in the world is talking about, is leadership. So there's going to be a program from 21st to 24th of October 2024. Coincidentally and luckily, it's happening here in Abuja. NAV Conference Center is the venue. Guess what? We are having international speakers and very renowned speakers from Nigeria and the entire Africa. Guess what? The former president of Nigeria, Yakubu Gowon, is involved. Professor Jerry Gana, a distinguished fellow of the Institute that always supports the chapter and the national, is also involved. It was really, really a very brainstorming session yesterday, and I don't want to reveal the whole content. So we have been invited officially. This is a letter of invitation. I would not want to read it, but FCT chapter, for what we represent, has been respectfully invited to this event. And they are expecting that given the quality of attendance we always have, we should mobilize over 50 candidates to attend. So I was glad because 50 compared to our attendance in meeting is insignificant, but that is the minimum. So please, like I said earlier, the president is going to be there. Myself leading the chapter, I will also be there. And the important thing here is that it's all about leadership. Leadership, leadership. And that is what we need for today. Further details will come on our platforms, and then we'll know how to go about it. And other chapters too are sending in. As at yesterday, we have 50-something confirmation coming into Abuja. That is just for the NIPR. So on this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would want to very respectfully, okay, Uzo, let me not take your job from you. Invite the president so that he will speak to us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor given to me this time to very respectfully invite the president of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and chairman of Governing Council, NIPR, distinguished fellow, Dr. Ike Neliako. Please a round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. This is fine. Thank you very much. I would like to acknowledge the chairman and his team, the executive, council members who are here with us, fellows of the institute, my beloved wife, who is a member of the institute by merit, not by association, our distinguished elder who came all the way from Delta to be with us this evening. And he didn't come alone. He came with a very strong team. We really appreciate you. You know, these are people that have contributed to the development of public relations in one way or the other. Kola and my brother. I've been in the, let me leave it like that. And then I want to thank our guest speaker for today. You really did justice to the topic assigned to you. I'm seeing my sister Bella over there. Afolabi, thank you very much for canceling your very important, he's moderating budget session that is going on, but he had to leave it to come and be with us this evening. We don't take these things for granted. We really appreciate you. And I know that there are several of you that had to forgo one thing or the other to be here with us this evening. We appreciate you. And Madam Perfume, thank you for giving us double barrel. We saw you there, we saw you here. And more importantly, I want to recognize my lecturer, my teacher, over 40 years that she contributed to who I am. So let me request, we call her Auntie. She knows. Auntie Lantana, as we used to call her. She's a fellow of the Institute, distinguished lecturer, has done so much. We really appreciate you, ma. Thank you. Of course, you can see that your labor is not in vain. I didn't say it was not in vain. It's not in vain. Because sometimes they say that the reward of teachers are in heaven. You should have your own here, ma. Thank you very much. The guest lecturer has done very well in teaching us today in the aspect of ethics. Indeed, ethics constitute one of the very essential things that make a society. Take away ethics from any system, it collapses. And I thank you. 3 things that I think we must take note of, apart from some other things that we already have noted. First is the power of storytelling. I don't know how many of us that observed that while he was here, he was doing his thing. But when he went over there to tell us the story of what happened, everybody's attention went to that place. As PR professionals, you must know that storytelling is so powerful. You may have your theories, you may have your narratives, but please always engage with storytelling. It's a very powerful tool. And once that happened, I told my wife to look around and watch people. Everybody shifted attention to that place. That is the power of storytelling. Some may call it illustrations, whatever it is, but always know that it works. Because if you are going to do well in public speaking, you need to tell stories. Nigerians love stories. But human beings actually appreciate storytelling. It's very, very, very important. The second thing I want you to take note of is the power of balancing. You must be a balanced person. He studied law, and then he's a practitioner of public relations. You saw how he was able to balance the two. When he was told to go and vacate an injunction, he vacated the injunction, but he vacated it as a PR practitioner, not as a lawyer. And that's why we are telling those who are not in public relations that they are missing a lot. Because this is the only profession that teaches you how to be a human being. Others teach you how to be professionals. But you see, there is always a limit to professionalism. And that's why we are calling forth the humanity in us, which is what public relations represents. The third component, for me, that I noted is the power of understanding your operating environment. He understood his environment. He knew what was required to be done at that material point in time. That it wasn't to do bravado, it wasn't to go and lock up anybody. It was to engage systematically. First of all, they locked horns intellectually and professionally. And when it was settled, then he could negotiate. What that meant is that he didn't negotiate as a weak person, from a weak perspective. Never negotiate from weak perspective. Never. Otherwise, you'll be the underdog. So make sure you match force for force. Then you can sit down on the table to negotiate. Systems don't recognize the weak. Once you are perceived to be weak, you have lost everything. Because systems are designed to march on the necks of the weak, except those who are compassionate by nature, deliberately. Otherwise, once you are weak, sorry. So there must be something you have to offer. Then you can sit on the table. Thank you very, very much. I want to commend the chairman and his team. They have done very, very well. Under 1 year, they have done very well. The innovations are really, really exciting. The creativity with which this team has done its work is very encouraging. And you know, I told you from day one that when you have more women in a position, they will do well. You have a lot of women. Don't mind the men you are seeing. Some of them had to be brought in, you know, just to make sure that it is balanced. So I'm really very delighted. But I would like to say that the aspect of PR clubs that you have taken up is very important to us. It's one of the areas that the current council has taken very seriously. And I'm glad that you have taken the responsibility to drive it. I will request you to develop what would become a pilot out of the experiences you're garnering from all that is going on, so that we can now refine it and make it a national project. So it will be one of the contributions that the FCT chapter is giving to the entire chapter. And that's why when you claim to be numero uno, we see it. This one is one of it. It's not as if this is the first time we're having NAPRISA. That is the students' platform of public relations. It has always been there. You know, Rivers State has done very, very well in that area. But we are now deepening it and making it to become something that has character. And you have now further de-escalated it to secondary schools to now have clubs. That is the way to go. And I'm glad you called it grassroots public relations. And that's why we established the Young Professionals Hub. because we know that if you don't make a conscious effort to build a credible successor generation in anything you are doing, you will have a challenge very soon. And before you realize it, it will be very, very late. So what you have done is to give us the practice of what is required to do that. Please do it very well so that we can now adopt it as a template where it is working. And then the capacity building thing you are introducing with, where is our friend? Thank you very, very much. One day, the day you were signing the agreement or the MOU with Oxbridge, with Hassan, I was with our brother, the Minister of Information, and he saw it on the television. Is that not Hassan? I said, yes, it's Hassan. He said, Hassan has now grown to be an expert. I said, Minister, they there now. So he now said that Hassan worked with him. That is one of the young men that he really, really admires and that he's been trying to raise up. That he's happy. And I'm saying this publicly so that you know that people are watching. Whatever you're doing, you don't know who is watching. And he made a very interesting comment. He said he's happy that Hassan is coming up, so his investment is not in vain. That touched me. That touched me. And that's how it should be. So I'm very delighted with the quality of what you're trying to do, because many people have called me, practitioners, and they will ask me to recommend somebody to play one role or the other, especially in the area of consultancy, public relations consultancy. We don't have it thriving yet in Abuja. We must tell ourselves the truth. We are very good in the public sector, but we are not strong yet in private sector and in consultancy sector. Even when some of us retire from our public sector activities and so on, we don't take time to build a solid consultancy that will now keep us, because we don't plan it. So what they are trying to do, in case it is not contained in the content you are giving to us, please plan for successor arrangement for practitioners. So when you are now transiting from public sector into private sector, you wouldn't be useless. Because the whole essence of having our certificate is to give you recognition that you become an expert and you can practice in Nigeria and in 126 countries of the world. Because that's how powerful NIPR is, because we're a member of Global Alliance. So when you carry our certificate, it is recognized in 126 countries. All right? All you need to do is to go and say you are a member of NIPR and you are accepted. And that's why we are strengthening the standards of the institute so that you won't carry our certificates in vain. And we're introducing a few things that would help us, but I'm not going to talk about it today. But this is very good, and I pray that it works out very well. I'm glad that you are getting first-class resource persons that would help us to do this very well, very importantly. And then I would like to say a few things about a program that we have on the 15th of next month. But before I come to that, I want to inform you that your institute has just inaugurated the NIPR Anti-Corruption and Consumer Protection Hub. That was inaugurated yesterday. And it's a collaboration between NIPR and 4 other agencies, being EFCC, ICPC, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council, and National Film and Video Censors Board. 5 of us have come together to promote advocacy against corruption, campaign against corruption. The reason is this: we have observed that usually when we talk about corruption, our minds will go to just financial issues. But you know, even in our families, we manifest elements of corruption. It's not only when you go to your wife's pot of soup and take meat that it becomes corruption. There are so many things that we have done. In the academic sector, corruption has made a bedroom. Even in our religious environments, corruption has collected the master bedroom. And then it's all over the place. And we said in our logic that sometimes you require more than prosecution to deal with an issue. And where we are today, it is beyond prosecution. It is now to appeal to the minds. And that's where NIPR comes in, because we have the biggest body of knowledge in Africa to take on any issue, design the strategy, deploy the character, and take custody of what is required. That's why these 5 organizations came together to initiate the NIPR Anti-Corruption and Consumer Protection Hub, and it's up and running. So I thought you should know. On the 15th of this month, next month, we are going to unveil Nigeria Reputation Management Group. You know of Nigeria Economic Management Group. But you see, Summit Group. But we discovered through research that reputation is the core asset of any nation. Reputation is the core asset of any individual. Reputation is the core asset of any organization. With due respect to fellow Chinwe Obuka, that's all I will say. So, I didn't say anything, no. I just talked about reputation and as a core asset. And I mentioned Chinwe Obuka. You want me to define it? Somebody mentioned where you are working. Somebody mentioned where you retired from. No, I didn't say anything, and I'm not looking for anybody. So, what am I trying to say? You see, when you allow your reputation to go under, your bank balance will be in red. Because it's like a bank account. That's why it is called reputation capital. It's an asset. And once your capital is in red, you have a problem. And you have to work so hard to transform your reputation from red to green. So, the NIPR has decided that we must take the issue of national reputation very seriously. And to that extent, we have declared 15th of October each year as Nigeria Reputation Day. And we are flagging it off on the 15th of this month, just with a low-key event. But from next year, we're going to have 1 week to discuss reputation under the platform of Nigeria Reputation Summit. That summit will be for 1 full year. I was talking about Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and I said, as important as the economy is, nobody will touch your economy if your reputation stinks. That's how strong reputation capital is to the economy. Nobody will touch it. But there are some people that will come when your reputation is so bad. Who are those people? They are crime-minded business people. Scammers, mafia. They will come to take advantage of the system. And then they usually come with briefcases. And they go back with aeroplanes made of your goods and your services. We don't want such investors. We want credible investors who will come here because they want to partner with us. And that's why we now need to take the issue of our reputation very, very seriously. We announced earlier that we are unveiling the NIPR Finishing School on the 30th of September. But you know, we have come to a point that NIPR has a character with its events. So if it is not boldly public relations, it is not NIPR. From the review that we have done, we are not yet there. And as your president, I have decided to step it down until when it gets to the point that I am satisfied that it is boldly public relations, then we can unveil it. You know, there is this expression in my place, and I will speak in Igbo, then I'll translate. Onye mmanya na-egbu anara aza akwa akwụrụ. You don't see a drunkard and you ask him, what is your guy name or your nickname? He says, my nickname is Aide Kankpe. No shaking. Meanwhile, he's a drunk. You know, he's shaking comprehensively. And he says, I am no shaking. That's his nickname. So where we are now, we are still shaking on this project and we can't bring it out. So that's why we are withdrawing it to refine it very well so that we can have a world-class finishing school. Because this finishing school is supposed to be prelude to the Public Relations and Leadership University that we have already established, the PIC. They've started work, and we are going to unveil it to the nation in September 2026. So this one that is supposed to be the prelude to it also must have very solid foundation. Before I conclude, the FCT AGM, I have a challenge. And my challenge is as follows. I'm sure many of us know Mazi Okereke. He invited me, I'm saying it publicly, so that you will, in case something now happens, you will understand. Mazi Okereke is an elder that we respect so much. He had an event in August. I couldn't attend because it was conflicting with another event. And then again, he invited me to another one, and each one he wants me to come and declare it open. This one is a National Media Congress, and it's on the 26th of November. And they thought that 2 months' notice is long enough. But the FCT chairman had already blocked my diary from the 25th to the 28th of November 2024. And before they went public, he came and we sat down and agreed. Now, Mazi Okereke comes. And I would have read the mail that was sent to me. It was technically a directive, and that I must reply, I must confirm now. So, because I missed the first one, I didn't have the mouth to tell him directly that I will miss this second one, or I may miss this second one. So I now told him this story of what NIPR is doing in the FCT, and that they consulted with me over a month ago, and I gave them my acceptance. And now your own has come, but that I will negotiate with NIPR FCT. And if there is an understanding, we will get back to him. I'm saying so that when you hear that Mazi Okereke has summoned your chairman to Lagos, you will be able to understand the reason why that has happened. But we'll put heads together and resolve it. It may mean that we may have one or two things altered here and there so that we can balance the two sides, because the two are very important. We respect our elders, especially elders that paid their dues for the institute. Mazi Okereke and the late Chief Alex Akinyele gave us our act. That we are chartered today is as a result of the efforts of these two gentlemen. And I'm delighted to inform you that we have instituted a prize in the name of Chief Alex Akinyele. We call it Alex Akinyele NIPR Prize for the best public relations officer in the Nigeria Customs Service, because that's where he worked. It was from there he became president of NIPR, and then later became Minister of Information and Culture. And such people should be honored. We didn't do that when he was alive, but we should do that now that he's still, at least his memory is still around. So we have instituted that, and we are partnering with the Nigerian Customs and one or two other organizations. On that note, I want to thank you all for coming to be with us this evening. May God continue to bless NIPR. And remember, good people practice public relations. Best people join NIPR. Determine for yourself where you belong. It's good to be good, but it is great to be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Distinguished professional colleagues, can you please appreciate our distinguished president once again? A great man with so much wisdom. Thank you so much. It's always a delight to listen to him. Thank you, Mr. President, for being part of this meeting. We appreciate you. And of course, to your beautiful wife, thank you also, ma'am, for always supporting our president. Now we are going to the next item, which is recognition of new members. And then, of course, we want to use this opportunity to call those who are attending this meeting for the very first time, as a member, as a non-member, as a visitor, but you're here for the very first time. This is the time we want to welcome you and then appreciate you for being part of this meeting. So if today is your very first time, kindly rise for recognition. Please, a round of applause for them. Okay. Thank you so much. This is the NIPR FCT chapter. We call ourselves the numero uno chapter, the very best chapter in the Federation. You could see that the president is also a member of this chapter. That's why we pride ourselves so high. And you can say so many things about us. We sincerely appreciate you for being part of this meeting. It's always a delight. We meet here every last Wednesdays of the month. And then by 4 p.m. with registration commence, while 4:30 on the dot, the meeting commences. We are here, and we of course continue to be here to provide support, and of course being the best chapter that you can always be part. For us that are members of this chapter that we've not seen for a while, please make hay while there is sunshine. Ensure you are attending our meeting all the time, every month. October is our last month meeting for the year. And then November will be our AGM, where we're going to climb up the activities of the chapter for the year. So we're happy you're here, and we hope to see more of you. Thank you very much. A round of applause for them as they have the seat. Now we're going to recognize those celebrating their birthdays for the month of September, all the September celebrants. If today, this month of September is your birthday, please, can you raise your hand up wherever you are? Thank you very much. Please, can you stand?
Okay, sir, sorry, before then, let me
sir.
just run a minute on this so that we'll conclude. In 2 minutes, we are done. Just to appreciate all of you for staying with us and to have identified with us all this while. But it's important that the chapter makes this clarification or announcement that last month we told you we are going to recruit 2 staff. We want to announce that the 2 staff we have recruited, and they are doing very, very well. We thank you for your support, and then we equally want to announce to you that we may be taking some drastic decisions. Last time we came and said that where we are staying as the secretariat is no longer befitting. The heat is becoming even more and more. We thank the administration that gave us that secretariat, but at this point, we must have to do something very drastic. Why I am saying this is because we may be coming to you to assist us, but whatever it is, we should, in the next 3 months, get a befitting office for the numero uno chapter. So please, let's bear that in mind. Then on registration for meetings, I am not, at times we see 120, 150 on our attendance. We actually over 250. FCT chapter meeting is like event. But the problem is that some of us are still evading online registration. For 2 months now, we have stopped manual registration. And then we have also set up mechanism to accommodate everybody. If you have touchlight phone, there is a system where we can impute your data. If you have a phone that you have not configured, we have officers who will attend to you to configure it. And then you have the one that is configured. Please use the QR code or you scan a whole lot. FCT has gone digital and will not go back again. The advantage of this is that some of you don't receive your minutes of meeting. The reason is simple. It's only the data that is captured on our platform that we are sending the minutes of meetings to. And more important value is that the NIPR is coming to a point where your attendance to chapter meetings will count for you. It's either on your promotion, upgrade, or seeking for something is now counting. So please, let's take attendance to meetings very, very seriously. On that note, I want to thank us once again and plead with the admin secretary to very quickly, in 2 minutes, run down the program for today so that we'll leave. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. For those celebrating the birthdays in the month of September, please, we want to recognize you at this time. Kindly rise wherever you are, all the September celebrants. Please, we want you to step outside and come to this side of this hall. We are going to celebrate you today. It is our culture every month to celebrate those who the month of that particular meeting is being held. All right, while that is going on, our two new staffs, please can you come forward? Toby and Eunice, stand up. Toby, where are you? Please, can you come forward? She's here. Okay, Justina, please, wherever you are, can you come forward? May I have the honor to invite our distinguished fellow Peter Onyeneye to come and anchor this section. Distinguished fellow, please. A round of applause for him as he comes forward. Before that, distinguished professional colleagues, I want to quickly introduce the new staff of the NIPR FCT chapter, Mr. Oluwa Toby. Here he is. He's our ICT officer. Please, a round of applause for him. He's a graduate of computer science, of course, very smart and young man, and we are happy to have him here. The president say you look smart, so congratulations. Of course, next is Eunice Akao. Eunice Akao is an MBA holder. Of course, she is the business expansion executive of the FCT chapter. She will be coming to you and your organization to seek partnership on behalf of this chapter. Of course, we have our social media officer, Ms. Justina Owana. Of course, she is the one handling our social media platform. All the things you are seeing on our social media today, she is the beautiful lady that is doing that miracle. Please, these are my new colleagues, and I'm happy to work with them. Thank you very much. You can go back to your station. Distinguished professional colleagues, I will hand over the mic now to our fellow to Kanko.
Thank you very much, the president, the chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank God for keeping these people till today. They are seeing another birthday in their lives. And this cake is very beautiful. I want us to rise and sing the happy birthday song. But just before we do that, they will cut. After cutting, they will take the happy birthday song. Yes. Can we have the knife? All right. We just make it at the count of 4. When you get to 4, we cut. Can you put your... I think NIPR is too big to use to cut a cake. So let's just do 1 to 4. Okay. Are we ready? Let's take 1 together. Hello, I am saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave NIPR. When is your own time, you can use NIPR. Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Can we sing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. We will invite the ESCO to cut with them, please. The ESCO? Where's the chairman? Okay, chairman is there. Okay. Members of the ESCO, please. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Please, let's settle down. The meeting is still on. The president is seated. Distinguished colleagues, can we all sit down, please? Thank you.
Okay, fellows in the house with our guest speaker, can you please cut with them, please? Fellows and our guest speaker, please.
Okay, let's do that snappy. All the fellows, Mr. President, sir, can you please join? Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, this is the last one.
Let's go.
Okay, come here. Thank you very much. We will be rounding off shortly. Just a few quick announcements. Our distinguished elder, Emmanuel Ndubisi Okoro, will be honored as a knight on September 28th.
The president with the celebrant. Just the president with the celebrant, sir.
So while the president is taking with the celebrant, announcements ongoing. Saturday, September 28th, 10 a.m. at All Saints Anglican Church, Wuse Zone 5. Please join Elder Emmanuel Ndubisi Okoro. We also want to quickly announce that certificates for new members is now available at the chapter secretariat.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
The National has now directed that you can get your certificates at the FCT chapter. With that, we rise for the motion for adjournment and the national anthem. Motion for adjournment.
Fellow Olubumi Badejo council member would like to move for the adjournment of this meeting. Thank you.
Please, I, Elder Ima Okoro, I am supporting the motion moved by the fellow.
Thank you very much. We recognize all those online. Fellow Tiwalade, Princess Tiwalade Fakbounda is online, joined us all the way from London, and all those who joined online. We recognize you. Thank you very much for joining the meeting today. The national anthem. This time, we'll sing it together without the music. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Please, a quick one. Let's remember our secretary, Amaka Obiokafo. She is bereaved. You may not be able to get her on phone because she's really downcast. But let's remember her in our prayers, and messages can be sent to her. Thank you very much. Good night, distinguished colleagues, and bye for now. We can go it in a... Let's go.